Imagine someone hurting you without saying a single word. No yelling, no arguments, no messages. Just pure silence. A silence so cold it makes you question your own worth. Most people think manipulation happens through anger or control, but the most dangerous kind happens quietly. It slips into your mind, twists your emotions, and convinces you the problem is you. And the wild part? You often don't notice it until you're already losing confidence, losing clarity, and slowly losing yourself. Today, we're exposing the hidden power behind the silent treatment, why it feels so painful, how manipulators use it to control relationships, and the subtle signs most people miss. And trust me, once you hear what's really behind it, especially the third tactic, you'll never look at silence the same way again.
1. The confusion stage. It always starts the same way. One moment everything feels normal, maybe even good, and then suddenly something shifts. Messages go unanswered, calls get ignored. The energy changes, but you have no idea why. This confusion is the hook. When someone pulls back without warning, your mind races to fill in the blanks. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset? Did something happen? Your brain hates uncertainty, and silence creates the perfect conditions for panic. Manipulators know that when you're confused, you become easier to control. You start searching for answers, and that search pulls you deeper into their emotional orbit. But the confusion phase is only the beginning, because the silence is about to get louder.
2. Why silence hurts more than words. Silence is painful because it feels like emotional abandonment. When someone chooses not to speak to you, your brain interprets it as a threat, a signal that you might lose connection or support. This triggers anxiety, stress, and even guilt. People who use the silent treatment know exactly what they're doing. They understand that silence forces you to react. You replay every conversation. You apologize even if you didn't do anything wrong. And slowly, your focus shifts from the relationship to just trying to keep the peace. But the real danger comes next, when silence becomes a weapon, not a reaction.
3. Silence as control, the most dangerous form. This is the part most people never recognize, and it's the part manipulators rely on the most. Here's the truth. The silent treatment isn't always about being upset. Sometimes it's about power. When someone intentionally ignores you to control your emotions, they're reinforcing one idea. I will reward you with attention only when you act how I want. That's not communication. It's conditioning. This is why it's so dangerous, because it teaches you to chase approval. Every time they go silent, you feel pressure to fix the situation. Your needs get smaller, their control gets stronger. And over time, you learn to accept behavior you would have never tolerated in the beginning. And once they know silence works on you, the game changes.
4. The push-pull pattern. Manipulators don't stay silent forever. That would make it too obvious. Instead, they use cycles. First, they pull away. Then, when you're anxious, confused, and desperate for clarity, they return. And that return feels like relief, almost addicting. Your brain releases dopamine when the connection comes back, rewarding you after a period of stress. That reward tricks you into thinking the relationship is special, even if it's toxic. This push-pull pattern is not love. It's emotional conditioning designed to keep you emotionally dependent. And once you're hooked on that cycle, you're already losing yourself. 5. The blame shift. When the silence finally ends, it rarely comes with accountability. Instead, you hear things like, I just needed space. You're too emotional. It's your fault. You made me shut down. The blame shifts onto you even if you did nothing wrong. This is psychological manipulation at its finest. It makes you question your reactions. It makes you feel guilty for wanting communication.
And it teaches you that expressing your needs will only push the person away. That guilt is intentional, because when you feel guilty, you're easier to control. But manipulators don't stop there. They take it even deeper.
6. How silence rewrites your self-worth. Over time, the silent treatment starts to shape how you see yourself. You begin to feel like you're too much, too needy, or too sensitive. You start thinking you're difficult to love. And every time you shrink yourself to avoid silence, you lose a little piece of who you are. This is how emotional dependence is created, not through constant arguments, but through long stretches of punishment disguised as space. They teach you that your voice creates conflict, so eventually you stop speaking. But the biggest shift happens when you finally realize the silence was never about you.
7. How to recognize the manipulation early. You can spot the silent treatment early by watching for patterns. They punish you with silence instead of communicating. They come back only when you chase them. They refuse to explain what's wrong. They act calm while you feel anxious or guilty. They make you apologize for things you didn't do. When silence becomes a tool for control instead of a moment for calm reflection, it's manipulation, not emotional maturity. And once you see it for what it is, everything changes. 8. Taking your power back. Here's the truth most people don't want to accept. You can't stop someone from using silence as control, but you can stop responding in ways that empower them. When silence hits, don't chase. Don't beg. Don't apologize just to restore peace. Instead, shift your focus back to yourself. Stay grounded, stay calm, stay observant. Because the moment they realize their silence no longer controls you, that's the moment their power disappears. Your peace is more valuable than someone's temporary approval, and real love doesn't punish you for having feelings. Silent treatment is one of the most subtle, powerful forms of manipulation, and most people don't see it until it's already shaping their behavior. But once you learn to recognize it, you reclaim your emotional freedom. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced the silent treatment from someone who later acted like nothing happened? Share your experience in the comments. You never know who you might help. And if you want more content that strengthens your mind, protects your peace, and exposes hidden psychological tactics, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your future self will thank you.